Have you ever wondered if the advice you're following for growing an online business using YouTube is wrong? Well, I know it is, and it's keeping you broke. And here's how I know that. In January of 2024, I quit my 7-figure online course business and started from scratch. And I generated almost $500,000 in the first 6 months alone from YouTube using a new system that's not only worked for me, it's worked for a ton of my clients too. And I'm so excited because today I'm going to give you the exact system to go from 0 subscribers to making at least $10,000 per month on YouTube without worrying about your subscriber count, views, or going viral. Because I'm about to show you how to start making real money from your very first video. So in this masterclass, you're going to discover exactly what to focus on and what awful, outdated advice to ignore so that you can start getting results like these. And if you're here now, you're probably wondering, well, will this actually work for me? This will work for people who want to solve a problem for their clients. So they make educational videos that help their clients get a big result. If you're doing vlogs or entertainment videos, this isn't necessarily for you, but feel free to stick around and hang out. So let me know if this is you, if you want to help people, your clients, solve a big problem. Let me know in the chat. All right, hola. I am your amiga, your friend, Lou. And if you are an expert or a coach, a course creator, or a service provider ready to build a business that brings in $10,000 or more per month without burning out, you're in the right place. Around here, you're not just a viewer, you're part of our family of empire builders. And because you hit play on this video, I already know something about you. You want to turn your knowledge into an online business that feels good, that feels aligned, profitable, and predictable so that you can finally have the freedom, stability, and ease that you've been dreaming of. I also know that you're tired of the noise out there, right? The broy tactics, the overwhelming launches, the feeling like you're working so hard, but you're still stuck. You want a clear, proven system that doesn't just promise results, it delivers them. And that's exactly what we're going to do here today. So say hello in the chat if you are ready to go. Hi, Steph. Anybody else in the chat? Let's say hello. Okay. But you might be asking yourself, how do I know that what I'm going to show you works to start making real money from YouTube from your very first video? Well, I have worked with over 1,000 clients who applied this exact system to their businesses, and most made at least $10,000 in 90 days. But it ranged a lot. Some people went past like $40,000, and it was life-changing. So let me show you a few examples. This is Sean. So Sean made $31,000 and $31,300. And that was after he had a problem with a client who disputed. So $31,000 in just 90 days. This is Tiffany, who made $12,000 in 90 days from zero. You guys, she had nothing, no audience, no channel, no social media presence, nothing at all. And this is Louisa, who made $40,000. Like I said, it was totally life-changing. I also have such an overwhelming amount of proof that this works, which is why I am so excited to share all this with you. So I'm going to break it all down now, but the most important thing that I'm going to cover today is the very last step. Without it, none of this will work, so stay until the end. All right? With that in mind, what's the strategy we're going to use to take your business to making $10,000 a month, even without any subscribers? Well, let's start by being a little bit honest, shall we? Let me know in the chat if you're ready to get honest. You've probably already tried making money on YouTube the way that everyone says that you should, right? You post free content, you've tried affiliate links, You're probably hoping to get monetized with AdSense, and maybe you even dream about landing a sponsorship deal someday. Let me know if any of that resonates. And yet, even if you're doing all those things, your bank account doesn't reflect the work that you're putting in. But here's the truth. Your expertise is valuable. You've just been given the wrong strategy. The thing that I love about the system that I'm going to show you today is that it's sustainable. It gets you big results quicker, and you can do this without creating content like crazy, doing massive launches, or relying on ads that just keep getting more expensive. Okay, so let's break down the advice that you've probably heard and that you've probably applied to your business, but that's keeping you broke. So the first thing, how to make money on YouTube, a lot of people will say AdSense, right? It's everyone's favorite goal. Let's get monetized. But here's the reality. Most creators make like $2 to $5 per every 1,000 views. That means that if you get 100,000 views, you make $200, maybe even $500. And that's before taxes. So unless you're pulling in millions of views per month and consistently, AdSense is more like a tip jar. Like, this is literally what I made from AdSense this month. Well, yeah, nothing. I'm not even monetized on this channel, and I have been posting here for a year. Now, this is what I made using this strategy in a single week. That's better, right? All right. What's the other strategy that people tell you to do? Affiliate links, right? It sounds super good. You make passive income while you sleep, but here's what they don't tell you. Income from affiliates is usually like 3% of the product that somebody buys. So if somebody buys something for like $50, you'll maybe get like $1.50, maybe $5 if you're lucky. Think about how many people need to click and buy for that to add up to real income. So much. And even then, you're still making money for someone else's business. If they pull a product, you're out of luck. And then there's sponsorships, right? Let's say you hit 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 subscribers. That's awesome. But now you're spending time pitching brands, negotiating rates, writing scripts you don't control. And listen, I've done a lot of sponsored posts, and sometimes it literally takes 120 days to get paid. And then there's this advice. This is the worst of all. This is the advice that people will say to post consistently for the next 6 to 12 months. Build an audience first and then just figure out what they want to buy. Creators are told all the freaking time, just show up, give value, grow your following, and then you can monetize. I even recently heard a YouTube guru tell his followers to set this realistic expectation for themselves. He's telling his people to say to themselves, it's going to take me 3 years to get anywhere. The first year, I'm getting nowhere. I'm sorry, but no. Can you believe that shit? And like, this guy's not the only one. I cannot believe how many people I come across have been building their business. Like, I'm building my business online for years without making any significant income. Because here's what happens when you follow that advice. You spend months talking to potentially the wrong audience, right? You attract people who just want free content, and you delay the one thing that actually grows your business. What's the one thing that actually grows your business? People, let me know in the chat right now. The one thing that actually grows your business and that you're just delaying by following this advice. Yeah, sales. And if you do try to monetize later, you now have a scattered audience with conflicting needs, which makes it way harder to launch a program that actually resonates. So you burn out. This whole process is, to me, the hottest hell of the internet. And I call it the content trap because it looks productive. It feels like progress, but it's a trap because it never actually gets you off the ground. So now I want to show you something different. Let's imagine this instead. You have a video that you posted on YouTube and it got 300 views. Fine, it's not that many views, but in that video, you solve a real problem for a very specific kind of person. And all of a sudden you make $10,000 or $15,000 or even $50,000 from a video that didn't even break a thousand views. This is what happened with my video from last week. Like literally, let me show you this. I had 278 views and 52 people clicked on my link to book a call, and 37 people booked in a sales call for my program. 278 views turned into 37 sales calls. That's massive. And that's the power of doing YouTube like a business, not like an influencer, right? So the question here isn't how do I get more views? The question is, how do I get the right views to build a YouTube system that makes me money from the very first video without needing to go viral, post daily, or go through an exhausting launch? If that's what you want, comment the number 1 in the chat. And let's get to it. Let's talk about the system that makes you money on YouTube from day one. And again, let me remind you that for this to work, you need one crucial thing that I'll go over at the very end. So stick around. All right. Imagine that you are at an auto show and that there are a bunch of cars on the floor on sale. Okay. On the floor there, you see a 2001 Camry. Okay, so there's the 2001 Camry there, and then there are the brand new Beamers and Audis and I don't know, Cybertrucks if you're into that shit. So when you come into YouTube, you are that Camry. There's nothing wrong with the Camry. It's a great car, it's reliable, but it's not very sexy when put next to the Beamers and the Mercedes, right? Because here's what's happening. You are entering a space where you are competing with really good fucking creators. These creators, they are the Beamers. They're the super high luxury cars, right? Some of these creators are professionals. Some have been doing this for decades. And some are spending hundreds of thousands a month on their team to optimize their content for the best results. So when you make a video, let's say your niche is relationships, you're going up against Matthew Hussey and Steven Speaks and Susan Winter, like the really, really big ones. And that means that YouTube is going to be like, okay, I see this video from this channel that is kind of just starting. Am I going to push this or am I going to push Hussey? It's going to push Hussey, right? You can't beat a brand new Beamer when you're just an old Camry. So how do you get around this? You don't go after the big guys because you cannot compete. Instead, you create an unfair advantage for yourself and carve out a very specific space where you are the indisputable expert. This is the first step of our system to make money on YouTube from day one. And here's how you do this. You start by asking yourself this question: what do I want to be known for? What's the thing that I can talk about with credibility, experience, and expertise? And what's the transformation that I can help people create? By answering these questions, you can then create your transformation declaration, which looks a little bit like this, right? Where is your client right now? That's point A. Where do they want to go? That's point B. And how do they feel once they're already there? This is your North Star for everything that you do on YouTube. And by the way, if you want to dive deeper into how to find your transformation, download the blueprint that I linked in the description below because it goes like super in depth and we don't have time to go into that today. All right. So you remember Louisa, right? Who I showed you earlier. She implemented this in her business because she was getting like no traction in the dog training space until she went all in on separation anxiety. Like dog training is a big thing, like relationships, business, all of these are niches, but they're so big. You're going to compete with the biggest people in your space. She went all in into this very specific piece of like the dog universe, and then she blew up. Because when you narrow your niche to a specific transformation, you build authority in that space. And when you build authority, you also start to build a community. And authority plus community means people who actually want to pay you for your knowledge. This is how you're going to use the algorithm to your advantage instead of trying to hack it. Okay, we're going to talk more about the algorithm in a second, but first, I want you to imagine this. You are about to record your next video. And once again, like always, you're feeling a little down because you're scared this is going to be just another video that took a ton of work and gave you nothing in return. Drop 2 in the chat if you've ever felt that way. Like, okay, fine, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to try this one more time, but every single video I post is a flop and I make no money, etc. Let me know in the chat. Okay, now I want you to envision this. You are about to hit that record button on your camera, and you have absolute certainty that this video will bring in thousands of dollars, and it'll continue to bring in thousands of dollars over many months. How does that feel? Tell me how that feels. Describe that to me in the chat. Well, that feeling, that's what step 2 of the system is all about. Because we've got your transformation declaration, and from there, we can reverse engineer your content to create what I call the time machine content map, okay? Each video that you create is intentionally crafted to meet your ideal client at their point A and point them directly to your paid transformation. Here's the idea, right? Instead of creating videos on what's trending right now or videos around general concepts in your niche, you build evergreen videos around a very specific problem related to your transformation that will still exist 6 months, 12 months, even 2 years from now. These videos are going to continue to show up in search, in browse, and in suggested, and these videos keep working while you sleep, while you travel, while you rest. Your content, when you use this system, becomes a time machine for your clients, right? Because it's the roadmap for them to get from point A to point B as fast as possible. And it becomes a time machine for you because your past content generates future revenue on repeat. That's how small channels make big money. But for these videos to actually make that money for you, they need to stand out from the competition. I know it's really hard to do this on YouTube, but it's not impossible. Let me show you. This is Tiffany. You saw her before. Tiffany is in the ADHD space, and she's competing against big ass names like Jessica McCabe, Dr. Tracy Marks, and Russell Barley. Yet she published a video using the strategy that I'm going to show you right now, and she booked a sales call from that video and then another 2. And this is just getting started on YouTube. Remember I told you she's starting from scratch? So how do you do that? Well, on top of your video solving a very specific problem for your very specific client, like we spoke about in the last step, they also need to stand out amongst other videos and creators in your greater niche. This is where step 3 comes in, okay? So for your videos to stand out, they need to fit into the attention triangle, okay? Let's talk about the first thing in the attention triangle. First thing is they need to be unique. Being unique is a really good way to differentiate. This is what I did with this channel, right? I realized that there's a ton of people who talk about online business, but I wanted to use a unique advantage that I had in my content. So here's what I did. I know my ideal clients really value freedom. They want to make money so that they can travel and spend their time however they want. Does this resonate with you? Do you want to travel and spend your time however you want? Drop a yes in the chat if that resonates with you. All right, well, I happen to already have achieved that freedom with my business. So instead of doing all my videos as talking heads like most people are doing in my niche, I took advantage of the fact that I travel a bunch and I do a bunch of my videos in a vlog format in cities around the world. I'm currently editing a video from Dubai, and the next video is going to be in London. The point is, find something you can do that no one else is doing, but just make sure that it's natural and authentic to you. All right, let's go into the next step of the attention triangle. The next step is credibility. This is where you show proof that what you offer really works. It's also where you have tons of proof of your own knowledge, right? When you can prove that you can just talk into the camera about the thing that you talk about, and people will be like, wow, this person really knows their shit. Like, take Callaway, for example. Do you guys know who Callaway is? He came into this space and blew everyone away because he was like, I have 1 million followers, 1 billion views, and this and that. And everybody was like, great, I'm listening to this guy if I want to grow my short form videos. You want undeniable proof that you're the expert. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, but I don't have proof, hang tight. I will show you how to get that proof fast so that you have that credibility in your videos from day one. But let's move on. The next step of the content triangle is the most powerful, and it's potentially the most overlooked. Okay, so quick story. My YouTube coach told me to absolutely not do these lives because live streams don't show up on the main page, blah, 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 blah. I know. But I know that going live is the best way for me to just be me and to show my personality. The truth is that people will like you because you're you. So you need to really lean into what makes you unique. That's why I believe that these lives, while they don't have a ton of views, they are my highest converting pieces of content because this is just like the raw, unfiltered me. So you don't have to go live, but you do need to show up and be yourself in your videos. Okay. Let me know if you're ready to show up and be yourself. Say me in the chat if you can be me. All right. So you know how to make your videos stand out, but it's only actually going to stand out to someone who's watching it if they actually watch it, right? And for them to watch it, they have to click on it. So step 4 is all about getting the click. And to get the click, you really need to nail your packaging. So basically your packaging is your title, your thumbnail, and the first 30 seconds of your video. And the way that you're going to nail your packaging is using the click magnet packaging framework. This framework that I am showing you right now, okay? So ultimately, the first step here, as we've already spoken about, is who are you trying to serve? Your ideal client, right? Your ideal viewer. What is the big problem that you're trying to solve? Well, this is directly linked to the transformation from step 1. So from there, once you've gotten really clear on that, right? Who am I trying to serve? What is the big transformation that is linked to step 1? Then this is probably the biggest word that I need you to remember from this entire video. Relevance. We need to make sure that any content you create is not random, but that it's highly relevant to the people you want to serve and that it's exactly what they want to see and hear and learn from you. So most important word from this masterclass today, relevance. Drop it in the chat so I know that you're paying attention. Okay? Because what does creating relevant content do? Well, the subject of your video is reflected in your title and thumbnail, and it makes it painfully obvious to your people that your content is meant for them. And they'll be inclined to click. They'll be like, oh, shit, this is exactly what I'm struggling with. This person knows, they know me. I'm going to click. I'm going to watch it. And then they're going to go into your attention triangle. All right. So from there, we move on to the next piece of the framework. Let me ask a question for my people in the chat. Are you a Marvel fan? Drop the word Marvel if you are a Marvel fan. Well, okay. The reason there are so many Marvel movies is because the people in Hollywood are smart. They want to make movies that bring in a ton of cash. And every new movie they make is a risk, right? It's a new movie. They don't know if people will like it. And they don't know if that new thing is worth investing in. But with Marvel movies, it's less risky because they already have proof of concept. People loved the previous Marvel movie and they loved the one before that and the one before that. So chances are people will like the next one. And when it comes to packaging your video, we're going to use the same concept. Instead of pulling your packaging idea out of your butt, you are going to use a proven concept and adapt that to be relevant to your specific niche. Basically, this means looking for patterns of thumbnails and titles that are already working in your niche and using that as inspiration. This is what the YouTubers see. Those 3 thumbnails, they're like the same. These are 3 different creators, but all 3 of these videos outperformed all the other videos in these creators' channels. And then once you hit a jackpot on your own thumbnail in your own channel, then you can just keep repeating that. Oh, there's someone at the door. We're just going to ignore that. Okay. And once you hit a jackpot on your own channel, you can just keep repeating that same packaging again and again and again. Just like the Hollywood bigwigs do and how the biggest creators on YouTube do as well. Okay. Are you guys taking notes? There's a lot today. All right. Finally, we are going to apply a copywriting framework to your titles and thumbnails that will make your videos totally irresistible. Like people will just need to click. This is a concept from the concept that I'm about to show you. This is a concept from Kyle Milligan of Copy Squad, and it was actually introduced to me by one of my mentors, Ed. Now, Kyle Milligan calls it the NESB framework, but we are going to call it SNEB because it'll be easier to drill into your brain with our motto. Don't snub the SNEB. That's our motto. Don't snub the SNEB. So what does SNEB mean? What is that? What is that? What's that word for not algorithm when there's letters? I forget. You guys, Brazilian. The Brazilian is so hard in me today. Like my English is terrible. I'm saying all the words wrong. But anyways, we are not going to snub the SNEB. Now let's go into what each letter of SNEB means. Okay. So first, S for safe. Here's the thing. Cold viewers don't usually trust new creators or creators that they haven't seen before. So we need to establish trust and credibility, right? And safe is what establishes that trust. So for you to build something that looks safe, you are going to leverage familiar faces, specific results, or reputable sources that make your content feel reliable and safe. Okay, so don't snub the SNEB, that's S. Next up, N. N is for new. If you can make it sound like the information that you're going to share is new, you have a much bigger chance of getting the click. So you want to offer fresh, unique, or surprising information because people crave novelty, especially when they've been frustrated by past solutions. And what if your info isn't new? Well, newsflash, it probably isn't, but framing it in a new way makes people interested. Okay, next up, easy. If I told you that building a business consisted of doing 18,000 hard things over the next 10 years, would you want to do it? No, right? We need to make it feel like what we're going to teach people in your video to get that big result is going to be easy to. So it needs to feel effortless or achievable. So you want to frame your content as simple and approachable to lower viewer hesitation. And then finally, you want to make it big. So you want to make bold, attention grabbing claims. Viewers are drawn to content that promises a significant result or impact. If I told you, like, make a little money on YouTube in 10 years, you wouldn't click on that video, right? It needs to be superlative. So that means that you need to get comfortable turning up the drama and making bold claims. Okay. So I've given you a ton of YouTube strategy that will position you as an authority, make you stand out amongst your competition, and get the clicks. But how does this actually make you money on YouTube from your very first video? One second. Okay, guys. Okay. Well, like I said at the very beginning, none of this will work unless you have this one thing already in place. Because with this one thing, you will know exactly what content to create that will resonate with your people every single time. With this one thing, you'll also have proof that your method works, which helps you build that credibility that you need to show in every single video. And with this one thing, you'll also know the exact words to say that gets your clients to buy. So here's how it works. Every video you publish needs to lead your viewer into a trust funnel, right? They click on your video because you have awesome packaging. Then they watch the entire video because your video fits into the attention triangle and it addresses the exact problem they are looking to solve. You hit them with a ton of expertise and build your credibility with proof that your offer works. This primes them to take the next step, which is to work with you inside your paid program. So for you to make money on YouTube from day one, you have to start with your offer. And oh, baby, do I have a treat for you. You can actually create your offer, get client testimonials, and start making consistent $10,000 or more in just 90 days. I show you how to do just that in the video that I linked in the description below. And the best part is that just by having this offer first, everything becomes easier because again, you know exactly what content to create. You have all your systems in place to make sales on autopilot, and every single video is primed to make you money from the moment it's posted. So check out the video I linked in the description below to figure out exactly how to create that offer so that then you can implement this YouTube strategy to make money from day one. And if you're ready to build a YouTube business that brings in leads and sales every day with a ton of support, accountability, and a proven plan, then apply to work with me inside Digital Business Builder through the link in the chat that's pinned or at the top of the description. I have super limited spots, you guys, because I'm like super hands-on with my clients for real. And so I can't wait to support you in building a business that feels as good as it looks. All right, let's get into our Q&A. We've got a few questions that came in through our email. Remember, I always answer these first, but if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat, and I am going to answer them in the order that they come in. All right. So the first question came in from Jim, and he asked, oh my God, you guys, this is so topical. Jim's question is, should I create my product first or should I create my YouTube channel first? Well, you guys all know now that the answer is create your product first. Here's a breakdown of why. When you start by creating your product, you necessarily have to do market research. You have to validate your product. You have to work with clients and get results for your clients, which means that by the time you get to YouTube, you know the exact messaging that works for your ideal clients. You know their exact buying triggers. You already have a ton of credibility because you've already built your offer, delivered it, and have client results to show for it. And you know exactly how to make content that's going to resonate with your clients on the very first day. Plus, the very first video you make is already going to lead your clients into that sale. It's going to make you money from day one, like this that happened with my client Tiffany. She posted her video and then, oh my God, somebody booked a call with her. So you want to start with your offer, and then everything that I just talked about in this video becomes much, much easier once you have that. Okay. Any other questions, you guys? Drop them in the chat. All right, let's talk about Prachi's question. So Prachi says, hey, I'm Prachi. Thank you for answering my question last time. It was really helpful. My question is, for market research, you said to do it for 1 month. How many people should I talk to during market research? What is a good number? I'm unsure. Please let me know. Okay. So when you're doing market research, I want you to talk to like 40, 50, 60 people. And the reason is this. Obviously, the reason we do market research is to collect data, right? We want to know what your people need, how much they're willing to pay for it, what they've tried before that hasn't worked, et cetera, et cetera. But when you go through the market research process, you're also building a ton of confidence, talking to people about what you offer, reaching out to people, basically just like doing these very important things that you have to do as an entrepreneur, right? The market research phase is a boot camp in being an entrepreneur. And on top of that, you create a pipeline of clients that are going to be primed to buy. So you talk to them during the market research, and then they already know you, they already trust you. And then they're going to be like, okay, well, how do I work with you? And then you go ahead and make the sale. So obviously we're collecting data during the market research phase, but we want to talk to as many people as possible because we want to build out that pipeline of clients, that like queue of people who are ready to buy from you. All right. Those are the questions that came in. I'm not seeing any questions. You guys are so quiet today. What's going on? Stephanie, James, Sean, Fatima, David, Bulbul. What's going on? You guys are so quiet. All right. Well, if there are no questions, let me just go ahead and remind you that if you are ready to build a YouTube business that brings in leads and sales every day, and you want to build it with support, accountability, and a proven plan, apply to work with me inside Digital Business Builder through the link in the chat or at the top of the description. All right. See you guys next week. Every Wednesday, 12 p.m. I will see you here.